The proponents of the multi-billion-dollar INPEX gas project have released their detailed environmental impact statement as part of the Territory and Federal Government approval process. The design for the project includes a controversial plan to use explosives to cut a shipping channel through a reef known as Walker Shoal near East Arm Wharf in Darwin Harbour. Environmentalists say the blasts will devastate the endangered dolphin population and other marine life in the harbour. I spoke to INPEX Darwin General Manager Sean Kildare earlier. Sean Kildare, thank you for joining us in State Line.
My pleasure, Letitia. Thank you for the invitation.
One of the most controversial aspects of the EIS that's been released is the plan to blast 120 cubic metres of rock from the harbour floor. What guarantee can you give that vulnerable species in the harbour, like dolphins, won't be affected?
Our EIS puts forward a range of measures that we will put in place to ensure that we clear the area of any larger marine mammals prior to implementing any of the standard blasting procedures that will be applied to this rock removal. The working area that is involved is about 0.03% of the entire harbour area, and the measures that we'll be using to detect the presence of the marine mammals are the subject of research. This is cutting-edge technology. We'll be applying it rigorously throughout the shoal's removal, and not only that, we'll be ensuring that should there be any presence in our working area, then we won't be proceeding with any of the blasting procedures.
Some environment groups are saying is that there's the snubfin, the humpback, bottlenose dolphins that live in the Darwin Harbour permanently, and that they're one of the most endangered mammals in the world, or amongst the most endangered mammals in the world. They're very susceptible to sound, and that the blasts will reverberate across the Darwin Harbour and affect them, devastating the population. Is that something you'd agree with?
No, I don't agree with that. Our studies have drawn on a large body of scientific research into the acoustic effect of noise underwater. The oil and gas industry around the world has been researching this extensively for over a decade now, and our understanding of the various frequencies that affect a range of marine mammals is clear, and the effect of these underwater blasts is not within the frequency range that would disturb these animals, provided they are not immediately adjacent to the work as it's being undertaken. And as I said to you before, we'll be ensuring that they're not in the area when we undertake the work.
So what is it that you'll be using to make sure that they're not in the area?
There are various methods which include well-proven observation methodologies. Marine mammal observers will be used extensively throughout this work program, but also there are new technologies available in passive and active acoustic monitoring, underwater microphone technology, for example, that is able to triangulate and pinpoint the presence of any of the marine mammals when they're making their own sounds underwater, and they're continually chirping and making these sounds as they move around. So they're accurate, they're precise, they're reliable. It can pinpoint the location and distance away from our work area.
The Environment Centre says you could avoid blasting by going around the Walker Shoal. Is that possible? Is that something you'd consider?
No, it's not a consideration. The removal of Walker Shoal is about the safety of human lives and shipping traffic in the harbour, and we have positioned a navigation channel for this project that is the best fit, that does the least amount of impact to recreational use of the harbour, environmental values in the harbour, and presents a strong, safe outcome for commercial shipping traffic in the harbour. To move the navigation channel will force a compromise and an impact to any one of all of these competing concerns that are relevant to this case.
Is it a case then of blasting or no project?
Well, it's not a case of blasting or no project. It's a case of delivering a project that presents as safe as possible an outcome for the commercial shipping traffic in the harbour, and not only INPEX's shipping traffic, that is the shipping traffic that occurs in what is a working industrial harbour that has over 1,600 movements of commercial shipping traffic every year.
You have a 4-year schedule of dredging with 17 million cubic metres of material removed from the harbour seafloor. What impact is that going to have on the health of the harbour long term? The
key to managing the health of the harbour long term was in the first part of the way you described it, the 4-year dredge program. The reason it is 4 years is because we have reduced the tempo and minimised the use of heavy dredging equipment, so that the impact to the harbour will be much better managed and the risk of a potential for sedimentation of the shoreline is reduced as well. So from our point of view, people should see the longer dredge program as a good thing. This is something to have confidence in, that the level of impact to the harbour will be under a much greater level of control. But you can't guarantee that there won't be damage to flora and fauna as a result of dredging? What I can guarantee is that we will be monitoring for the potential for damage and impact. Our EIS proposes a range of monitoring and survey programs that will be implemented right from the very start in these programs, and should we detect any sign of stress, and we have been open enough to present in our EIS theoretical scenarios where it is possible that stress could occur. It's possible there could be some impact. That's the 2 hectares of mangroves that could be killed? Certainly. We've been upfront enough to present that worst case scenario. However unlikely, we want to be clear with everybody that this is the full range of possible consequence. And as I said, what I can guarantee is that we'll be very diligent to look for these potential impacts, and should we start to detect them, then we will completely readjust our program accordingly. Sean Kildare, thank you for joining us. My pleasure.